Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I promised that I would give you real-time, raw truth about what a spiritual awakening looked like. And so I am coming to you today looking and feeling a lot worse for wear, and going to discuss with you what I am discovering is what I think is a new phase on an awakening journey. Well, I'm describing it as a new phase because we've talked about the 6 phases according to Christina Lopes, but her journey hasn't really been the same as mine in a lot of ways, although there have been some comparisons, and I can see the 6 phases that she went through, being the wake-up call, being the bliss phase. That was fun. I liked that. Being the dark night of the soul, being the void, being grounding, and then reintegration. And so I would like to think that I'm somewhere in the pre-reintegration phase. There's another small phase that I would like to, maybe not a phase, but a happenstance that I believe is what I'm currently in and what I wanted to discuss with you today. And I'm going to call it the "Are you sure?" phase, or the last temptation phase, because my spiritual awakening has involved a lot of letting go of old ways of being, old coping strategies, old structures that kept me very in a faux sense of safety and security and make-believe. The old adage, ignorance is bliss. I can understand very thoroughly that phrase now, because in a lot of ways, ignorance was bliss. Awakening means awakening to truths, and truths are not so pleasant, even though I've always been on a quest to know truth in my life. The fact of the matter is, those truths came like an avalanche, and with such destructive force into my life that it's been hard to ground and restabilize after the amount of truths that present during an awakening. And those truths can be on multiple levels and layers, and it can be very difficult to integrate truth into a new reality that that you can exist in the world in, because it's not just personal truths, it's generalized truths. You know, when you start to awaken to the reality that the world is not exactly as you always perceived it to be, and that the advice that you may receive from places aren't always in your highest and greatest good, that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Awakening, it can be at times overwhelming, which is, why there's, I think, a phase in an awakening journey, a pre-awakening phase, where, people can start getting heavily down a lot of conspiracy theories and things like that. And I'm not going there. I'm not talking about that. But yes, it can be overwhelming and shocking. And then there's all the personal truths in regards to your relationships and just your way of being, your way of coping. And those truths hit hard. They certainly hit hit like a nuclear warhead onto my brain, causing a severe spiritual crisis for me. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about, because it's the integrating of those truths into a whole new way of being. And you go along for a period of time in an energy of, I can do it. I can do anything. I'm motivated. I'm going to quit these cigarettes. I'm going to leave this relationship. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop eating the sugar. I can do it, and this real empowered energy comes in kind of in that bliss phase that I mentioned, where you have a wake up, you see that life doesn't have to be as it is. I can do differently. I can make changes, and you're motivated to make those changes. And then you make the changes. And you go through a lot of trials and tribulations after you've made the changes. And it takes a certain period of time to integrate those changes into your life, and those new levels of truth and reality into your life. And you're carrying on and you're doing you. And then one change influences another change, which then influences another thought, which influences it. And so it starts down this like snowball that keeps getting bigger and bigger, and then the change is like, oh my God, nothing in my life is the same again. Like nothing. I'm not the same. My life situation isn't the same. My how I cope isn't the same. Nothing is the same. And then you hit where I'm currently kind of at, and the last 24 hours have been insanely challenging, as my ego seems to be doing a last stand of some kind. At least I hope it's a last stand. And, trying to convince me of how much better it was before. Which is crazy if you think about it. But I understand that the whole concept of ignorance being bliss, because before I headed down and started implementing all of these changes in my life, I was fat, I was sick, I was depressed, I was being lied to and manipulated without my knowledge. But it's almost like this temptation of, do you remember how good it used to be? And it's like, I suppose, in a sense, that cognitive dissonance trying to rear its ugly head one more time, that sucks you back into, missing the life that you once had, missing the good things that ignorance offered you. And I suppose the good things was, oh, do you remember when you had that cigarette and it felt so soothing and comforting? Or do you remember when you used to drink and you used to have so much fun and there was so much laughter? When's the last time you had any laughter like that? Do you remember that time that you cuddled with your ex-partner and you watched those movies and you felt a warmth and a comfort in that? Do you remember when you used to eat pizza and it tasted really good? And so it's like all these temptations are being kind of delivered to me, as in spirit saying, are you sure? Are you sure you really want to change? You sure you don't want to go back to the way it was? You sure? Because all that stuff offered you something. And it's most irritating phase to be in, this are you sure phase, this last temptation phase. I can only assume it's a prequel before leveling up, before a final release and letting go of these things. But with it is coming all these insidious energies of, yeah, do you remember when you were depressed? Do you remember when you were unhealthy? Do you remember? So it's like an intermingled taunting or temptation to pull you back. And I can understand why so many people fall off the wagon or return to dysfunctional relationships. In a way, I am grateful that that's impossible. That I have gone completely no contact. That I made it so that it was an impossibility to ever contact that person again. But, I did spend 12, 13, 14 years with that person in my life. And it wasn't all bad all of the time. No different than, drinking isn't all bad. While you're doing it, it's great. It's the hangovers and the afterwards and the consequences that are shit. So any type of addiction or attachment, you need to recognize the good that it played in your life, because that good was the hook. That good was the it's what kept you going back for more. And that's that addictive quality. Even though something is dysfunctional or unhealthy or toxic or abusive, there was an element of something that gave you some sort of a chemical hit. And in an awakening, what happens is all of those dysfunctional things are taken away from you. And yes, at first you go through a motivated, enthusiastic, yes, I'm getting rid of you finally. And then you are tempted through experiences that trigger you to make you want to go back to something that once was, because you're at a precipice. It's like a cliff in this last temptation of, once you go past this point, there's no return, and there's nothing in front of you. You don't know what's in front of you at all. What does life look like completely and utterly sober? What does life look like after an awakening? What does life look like in solitude and after solitude, after the hermiting? You get kind of used to the hermiting, and that there's something coming, and this is one last, like, do you remember when? This taunting kind of energy that comes in, and it's overwhelmingly challenging energy to be in. And that, on top of we're sitting in a pre-Christmas energy, which is a dark period of time for a lot of people. So I've been feeling overwhelmingly depressed. It's like the depression was the jumping off point for me to go to seek things outside of myself, to comfort myself. Depression was the gateway. And I'm seeing that now, that when I would have emotions, which I wasn't allowed to have, depression would come and put them all down. And in depression, I could reach out to other things to help elevate me out of depression. Alcohol, relationship, food even. And I will 100% put my hand up and say I did kind of fall off the wagon last night, and that I had a pop. I had a ginger ale, and it tasted very good. But it's not something, because I don't want to get myself back into an addiction to sugar again. But I did let myself have a little bit of sugar last night. And I don't feel guilty about it. It's a whole lot better than picking up the phone and texting a toxic individual that was hell bent on destroying you. Or it's a lot better than getting into drugs or alcohol or anything like that that's going to inebriate you. So I just want to let you know that I guess I kind of fell off my wagon, but my wagon is a pretty limited amount of things that I can do on this wagon. So I really wanted to share with you guys today the energy that I'm in, and identify what this is, because I know a lot of other people are kind of in this collective energy coming along the same place. So if you're sitting in an exceptionally dark, depressive energy, that's okay. I am reminded what Tyler Miller, who I interviewed on You Talk, was describing in regards to the check marks, is sometimes you need to go down before you're elevated back up. And so I'm in this little going back down into this energy of remember when, and ignorance was so blissful, this taunting, this temptation energy as I'm in this down, to pull you back into a previous way of being. But there is no going back after a spiritual awakening. You can't unawaken. You can't unheal. You can get sick again, and I have no intention of doing that. You have to ride it out. And luckily I've had some friends remind me that, this too shall pass. That has been my going mantra all the way along this awakening path, because it is so up and down, going down into dark nights of the soul, and going up into new energies and new vibrations, and then going back down into like a void kind of energy and nothing's happening, and then coming up and going, oh yes, I feel attached to spirit, I can see the meaning of this all, and then going down into what is happening, where's the love, where's the connection, where's people, where is anything, and then going back up again into, oh, I see hope again, yes, I have faith again, and it's a crazy, crazy journey. So I'm hoping in this new phase that I currently am in, which is a last test, is going to propel me into a new energy. And I also wanted to, it reminds me also of, men may not understand this as much as women, but when I was pregnant a million years ago, there's a phase that I remember when you're about 9 months pregnant and you're just about to give birth, and you're like, oh damn, what have I done? Nothing's going to be the same again. Like there's no going back. you know, and we're in the process of rebirthing ourselves. And I think that we're in that 9-month mark where we're like, oh, damn. Oh, damn. Yeah, this is real. This is happening. What, we don't know, but it's happening. So I'm sending my love out to everybody that's in dark, depressive temptation to return to the old, to when you were unawakened and unaware, and this too shall pass. With that all said, thank you, and thank you for all of the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, the supers, the donations, all of those. I greatly appreciate them. I'm sending you all my absolute love. Please be safe over Christmas. Do not suffer in silence. You are not alone. I love you all very, very much, and we'll get through the next stretch together. Peace out.